What is Avalon? This is a question I get so often because when we think of Avalon, most people think of the modern day town of Glastonbury in the UK. But when we start to go back in history, what we find is that Avalon doesn't seem to be the name of just one place, but it's more of a title. It's a title that's given to certain areas, certain sites, certain pieces of land that are imbued with sacred qualities. And as we look back in time, especially ancient manuscripts, ancient texts, especially the ones that we find in Wales, they tend to be the best preserved, things like the Bardic Triads. What we find is they speak of Avalon in just that way, Avalon as a descriptor of certain qualities that a land might have. Even Geoffrey of Monmouth, he talked about that in his Life of Merlin, which again was heavily influenced by ancient Welsh texts. So, if Avalon isn't just one place like Glastonbury, what is Avalon? What are some of the qualities that we find getting wrapped up into this title of Avalon? Well, the first thing we find is its otherworldly qualities, right? So in ancient Welsh mythology, the otherworld was known as Anwen. So this is a place that is beyond this world. It is between the realms. It has that otherworldly quality. And also, by being in the other realm, in another world, you could say, there's a lot of protection or guarding against corruption, which is why Avalon is known as such a pure space. The next is Avalon gets connected to healing and rejuvenation. So it's a place that you go if you have wounding, whether it's physical or even spiritual wounds. It's a place of rejuvenation. Even in mythology, this is where King Arthur was brought to heal from some of his wounds. It is a place of abundance and fertility, right? So it has all those qualities of abundance, fertility, having that type of ripe garden, that fertile garden essence. That's why the idea of apples gets so ascribed to Avalon, the apple being a very symbolic fruit with lots of mystery school connotations to it. So a lot of abundance and fertility codes. The next is you find a sense of timelessness or eternal youth, that when you step into an Avalon, if you will, it is a place where you sort of step out of time. Your perception of time is different. And also there are lots of mythologies and stories of beings in Avalon that don't seem to age. So there's that eternal youth, that immortality, if you will. There's a sense of mystical energy and magic that can be found in Avalon, which is why you always find different tales of magic and people that use magic, even things like sacred relics, which is another reason why things like Excalibur, the sword of King Arthur, or even things like the Holy Grail get connected to the Avalon energies. It's also a place of spiritual enlightenment, so it's a place where you go for learning and deep initiation. This is why it's a place of wisdom, where you can come to receive wisdom from the things and the people that hold those wisdom codes. It gets connected to the sacred feminine, because so many stories of high priestesses of Avalon and these feminine wisdom traditions get woven into the stories of Avalon. It is also a place of geomantic significance. So the term geomancy is all about earth magic, earth energy, which is why Avalon tends to be connected with places of high telluric energetic importance, like places where ley lines converge, or spaces that have certain crystals or metals within the earth. And most importantly, Avalon is a place that gets connected to the hope and return, the sort of the prophecy being fulfilled. And so you find a lot of energy of the return of a golden age, or the return of light, or the return of certain heroes that are ready to come back. And I think that's why Avalon is calling to so many of us right now. It's all connected to this great and beautiful return, not just of the codes of Avalon, but this next age that we're entering into. So may we all go on a pilgrimage or quest to find Avalon first, of course, outside us, the external Avalon, but really what this is speaking of is the internal Avalon. Also making sure you seek the kingdom within and find that Avalon that dwells within your heart.